Hey guys, girls, and everything in between. I'm Hannah, and today I want to talk about art, or more like the progress of becoming better at art. I don't know, I just had so many thoughts lately about this, and I basically had no one to discuss this with but myself inside my head, so I just wanted to share this. It's not a tutorial per se, but it's more like stuff you can think about if you're a beginner artist like I am. Please note that I'm no not a fucking Picasso, all right? I'm just a person trying to improve my own art. And a lot of the times when I see these types of videos, it's often given by people that have a lot of experience or that have been drawing for several and several years. And I just thought it'd be interesting to hear it from someone still like very amateurish and very much a beginner. So if you're like me, I'm very intermediate artist, whatever. I don't like to call myself an artist because I don't feel like one, but you know what I mean. Maybe this will be helpful. It's probably going to be a lot of rambling and stuff, but I'm going to try to edit out some of the I say all the time. Anyway, one of my first biggest tips, I'm pretty sure you've heard all of these before anyway, but draw more often. I used to draw once every month or sometimes every other month. And when I sat down and I was gonna draw something, and I didn't do any warm up sketches or anything. I just threw myself in there, and it was like starting over all over again every time I did it because I hadn't polished or owned my skills or anything. So it was just, oh, how did I do this again? Oh right, and I had to like look stuff up and use a lot of references, which is totally fine. I'm a very big supporter of using references, but it was like, it wasn't in my blood or it wasn't in my like. And now it's such a big difference. I can tell because now I draw every day and I learn so much every day. It's like whenever I feel insecure about something, I do like reference sheets, reference for hands, or reference for eyes. I really try to commit to stuff I don't feel secure about, and then I just practice and practice and practice. And I know it sucks to do all these bad sketches. You just look at them and you're like, what the fuck? But then when you keep this up and you draw every day, I draw like an hour a day or something. It's slow, but it's a lot of fun when you start to see improvement. I'm very intuitive in my creativities and I'm a fast learner as well, which comes into my next tip is to assess and analyze your previous work or your older work. This is very, 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 very helpful. Once you start to see, like when you draw a line or when you're drawing a face or whatever, and you can actually look at the picture and it's like something feels off or something doesn't look right. And at first, when you're drawing, it's very hard to notice those things because you're just drawing from your own reality inside your head, which is usually not very accurate. So when it translates onto paper, it looks, fucking wonky as hell. And once you start to see these mistakes more quickly, you're kicking ass. You're halfway there, and you'll be able to correct a lot of your mistakes much more quicker and efficiently. Always try to think of that because if you don't do it, you'll be making the same mistakes over and over again, and that's not good. So you want to always try to think of that and have that in the back of your head and always try to analyze. So my next point is, and I was talking about this before, is to use references. I don't know why there's like a stigma around this. It's probably because, I don't know, it's seen as cheating or whatever. It's ridiculous. I really don't agree with this point of view. I think it's, the more experienced artists that say this because they've forgotten how hard it can be. It's nearly impossible to draw, like, let's say, a human body just from your memory, just from what you've seen, if you never studied it before. And here's the thing, if you don't use good references, you're gonna keep projecting your own insane warped reality onto paper. If you're drawing from that, then no fucking wonder it looks like shit. Or, yeah, you're not improving or whatever. So having a good reference, not only is it easier to draw, but you're like imprinting healthier versions of reality into your mind and into your memory. Don't be prideful or arrogant, thinking, never take a wild guess. Oh, I think this is what it looks like. If you keep doing that, you're never going to learn how things work and how things look in different angles. And yeah, you have to commit. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, I guess it ties into to study and dedicate yourself to something. I'm not saying like you have to, if you're learning about human anatomy, you have to learn every name of every muscle. It's definitely worth digging into something and really learning something from the base to the top. How about, just a basic knowledge about something? Like I've been reading a lot about color theory because I really want to improve my coloring and shading and stuff and color harmony because I love colors. So it's, once you start to study these things and dedicate yourself to it, you start to view art in a whole different light. And you start to see, like when I studied color theory, suddenly it's everything I saw when I was looking at art. Oh, now I understand why these colors look so good together. And I see other people use it in their pieces. And yeah, it was so cool. So yeah, the more you understand about something, the easier. It's self-explanatory really, but you just make things super clear. Okay, so my next tip is don't use straight lines when you're drawing. And this is very, very usual for beginners, and I'm still struggling with it. But once you start drawing more loose and flowy lines for like poses and stuff, once you start doing that, your poses look so much more dynamic and less stiff and rigid. I'm really trying to get out of that stiff, rigid face and just trying to draw more flowy poses because it looks so much more natural, and it makes a huge difference when you don't view the human body as this static, stiff object. Just fucking make them do stuff on the paper. Just, put them in crazy poses, in really dynamic poses. Try it out. I know it may seem like super hard in the beginning, but use references. That's a big, big help. And you can do like gesture drawings, super quick sketches, like 2 to 3 minutes long, where you just try to get the general idea, direction of the pose. And now for my final last advice. And this is probably the hardest advice to take to heart because it's something I used to do. I'm speaking from experience here, but it's probably the most important one of them all. It caused me to lose all my inspiration, the motivation to draw. I stopped drawing for 4 to 5 years. That's when I transitioned into editing instead. And it's something during my years as an editor has helped me because I gain a lot more confidence in it now. And I know it's going to be very hard to listen to. And it's don't compare yourself and your work to others. Because this little thought, this little but very destructive thought, is what led me to stop seeing the joy in art and in drawing. And I was just constantly beating myself down and not giving myself praise or anything when I was improving, because I used to draw a lot more back then, several years back. And I've been drawing since for as long as I can remember, but I don't know. It's just I had no one but myself to listen to. I would always look at other people's work and be like, oh, I'll never reach that. And it's just very, very toxic attitude to have against yourself. And I would really strongly advise you to not go down that road because I've been there and it sucks. Now I just think about when I started drawing again, all that time, 4 or 5 years, I don't know, I forgot. I think about all those years, and if I'd only drawn more and if I hadn't stopped, I could have been so much better now. I could have been in a whole different place if it hadn't been because I stopped drawing because I was afraid or insecure. And like, what the fuck's that? No, I'm so over that. And I think that's what really helped me when I got into editing. I gained a lot more confidence, and I have a whole new view on things now, I guess. So now when I draw and I draw every day, it's like I'm having so much fun. Like sometimes it's sucky, of course, because you're like, oh fuck, now I'm never gonna learn this. Things are going slow, and you just want to get past all the bad, shitty sketches and get to the real art, so to speak, and get better real fast. But it's a slow process, and Sometimes you don't even see progress for like a month or months even. Like it takes a long fucking time. It doesn't matter how intuitive you are, you're still gonna have to learn the basics and stuff. I'm not saying you can't look at other people's work and admire it, because that's a whole different thing. But if you're gonna compare yourself to your older self, and more specifically your older work, because that's a much more healthier way of dealing with that. And it's also something very motivating, I think, to look at your old sketches and look at your new ones and like, I've really improved in this. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. Here's from a beginner artist to another beginner artist. You can fucking do it, okay? Don't let anyone tell you something else. I've been at the fucking bottom of this creative circle of hell. With practice comes more experience or more skill or whatever. Never doubt yourself like I did. Everyone's been there at the beginning, not knowing how to do shit and, just having to struggle. It's a fucking long struggle to get really good at something. It doesn't matter what it is. So always remember that. I know it's like cliche you don't want to hear, but it's sadly it's true unless you have some genius gene or whatever. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. And this video turned into a complete mess. I'm sorry. If you listen to this, thank you so much, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. I promise I'll upload some speed paint soon. And if you have any requests on things you'd like to see me draw, that would also be super, super fun to hear. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.